Glad to have you all with us again. We are excited because we have another dynamic couple with us today.
Yes, we would love to introduce you to the Earlys.
Early in the morning.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Excited.
They are natives of Georgia, and so they bring that certainly that Southern charm
Right.
and just love for people, just genuine love for people. They've been married for 22 years, and God has blessed them to accomplish great things in their personal lives and their ministry journeys. Brother Michael Early is a retired NFL player. I don't know if he's giving autographs to the screen this morning or not, but we celebrate of his successes. And Nichelle being both in ministry and marketplace, running a three-time celebrated company and professional services firm. She is doing it. She and her team, they reside in Washington, D.C., where their goal is to support others in breaking forth into all that God has purposed for their lives. And the name of their company again is Break Forth Solutions Inc. And we are just delighted. And so that's kind of their professional background. But let us tell you that when we met this dynamic couple, they are so accomplished, but they're just such good people, right? And so it's amazing to see the great things that God is doing in them and for them. But they are just some of the most genuine, kind-hearted people that you'll meet. So welcome. Thank you all for sharing your very busy schedule.
Thank you.
So as we go into today, one of the things we've been trying to help others do is figure out how to navigate life either after distraction or while being distracted, or if you guys can imagine this, right, trying to accomplish your goals, being focused, and then knowing that distractions are coming, but trying to decipher between distraction and what is divinely God's will.
I think my husband probably had some great wisdom on distractions, given his career and all that he's gone through. So I'll yield to him.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for having us, first of all.
Yeah.
So for me, distractions, I feel that we try to be everything to everybody.
That's amazing.
And you try to divide your time amongst things, amongst people. And a lot of times, if you're not careful, that will make you lose focus on what your goals are. And for me, I tend to always just, try to make sure I reach out to everybody, at least once a week or twice a week. And sometimes it pushes me behind on what I'm trying to do or what I'm trying to accomplish on that week. So for me, I try to keep on schedule as much as I can.
Mhm.
Okay.
And I know things happen throughout the day, throughout the week, and throughout the month. And I truly believe in, if you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. So even if I'm moving at a slower pace, I'm still
Right.
trying to move forward.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, and I like that sentiment from Mike, because I always call him Michael Early. I'm gonna try to just call him by his first name. Michael Early. We've been married to 22 years, and I still call him by his full name. But I like that sentiment because it reminds me of a principle that I kind of really use to govern how I deal with distractions, and I think we baseline it by, for me, when I think about external distractions, it's the things that divert your attention from your intention. And so it's constantly trying to moderate and be intentional about governing those things that's going to cause me to deviate from my intention, or like Pastor Dwight was saying earlier, to deviate from the desires of my heart that I put before God. And God has already said yes to these things, because the promises of God are yes and amen. And so now I got to be judicious. I got to make sure that I am clear about what my intention is, what my desire is, and what God has said yes to. And then all this other stuff, I have to either prioritize or decide that I have to say no to that.
Why do you think it's so easy? In addition to the fact that there's just a myriad of things that are pulling at us, why do you think people so easily, I think, particularly in this season, we're seeing it happening, politically, we're seeing it happening in the academic sector as our kids are going back to school, and we're like, focus, focus, focus.
Why do you guys think that there are so many distractions?
A lot of people think focus is the opposite of distraction, but no, it's traction. I heard a gentleman by the name of Nir Ayel say that. He was like, traction is that forward momentum. And people think it's always about speed. It's not necessarily about speed, but it's about being consistently progressive. And so it goes back to what we were all just saying earlier, that I think scheduling is a big thing, because if you don't schedule and you don't plan for things and you don't be intentional about keeping that schedule and not letting it get compromised, you know, even personally, I have to tell myself, Nichelle, just stop lying to yourself, because, you know, I have an intention. Again, if my attention, you know, is the things that I have an intention for, I'll say, I'm going to take myself to the spa. But you let Sister Cantaloupe call or Brother Watermelon call, and Evangelist Early, can you call?
Right.
And can you do? And all of a sudden, that spa day go out the window, and I just got diverted from the thing that I actually owe myself as it relates to self-care. And I think that's another thing, that distractions, they rob us of that opportunity many times to practice that necessary self-care so that we can,
Right.
as my husband said, in right timing and in right season and when it's necessary, kind of be available to others.
For me, I think it's when you have a goal and you set out on that original goal. One thing I learned in life, things are not going to always go as planned.
Right.
So the focus is get to the end goal.
Yes.
And it may not come out the way you want it to. Your roadmap may not be the way it's intended to be, but it's still just get to that goal. So you may have to take a detour here or there, but the focus is get to the goal. And some people, I feel, get distracted because it's not happening the way they think it should happen. But it's not going to happen the way you think it happens. Distractions are going to come, situation, life is going to happen.
You know, sometimes step back away from it. Go get an ice cream. Go get some rest.
Take a
Go
nap.
take a nap. That's me. That my husband. When I get real, I just be like, you know what? I just need a nap. And then, but then get back refocused as quickly as you can. You don't want to feel like, well, because some people, and I've been there, where, okay, well, I lost focus and I didn't get that done. Then they bury their head in the sand and they never accomplished their goals because they got distracted because they didn't complete that one task. They allowed that to just detour them from everything that God had actually said yes to.
Right.
You know, people don't realize how much God actually tells us yes, and He always tells us yes when it aligns with His word. Because He's His word, right? So when you're in agreement with His word and it aligns with His word and it aligns with what the purpose is for your life, you have to go into it knowing it's a yes. So we can't get distracted by the external and the internal, you know, stimuli that comes at us. Because our own thoughts sometimes can be distractions if they are not in a healthy place or aligned appropriately.
Yeah, that's good for anyone who's listening right now, and you've been kind of figuring out where you are in this process. You said, look, I'm way off track. What you just heard was, so what? Take a break, regroup, refocus, get back on track.
Let the church say amen for that.
Amen. Well, again, we thank you guys so much. This time has been wonderful, and we're excited. We're excited because while God has clearly done great things with the both of you, we're excited that the best is still yet to come. And it's, you know, and that kind of sometimes we hear that phrase, but I'm just excited for the great things that God is continuing to do in you and with you and through you both. And so we're excited for you. And we definitely have to get together.
Yeah,
like
we're going to get together, Mike. I think we owe each other a golf game, right? At least the golf game.
Yes. Indeed, I'm playing tomorrow. After church, yes. I go hear my wife speak the word, then I'm going to play golf.
You got to get those disclaimers during the pandemic, because the pandemic will cancel the whole service.
Yes.
Our prayer and hope is that you two are able to navigate whatever path God has given you, not without distraction, but in spite of the distraction.
That's right.
And still accomplish everything that God has promised, everything God has assigned to you. And most importantly, you know, be the person that can bless those God has placed around you.
Yeah, so go ahead and grab your next cup of coffee if you need to. We're going to come back with our Hey Ladies tip, our coaching tip for the morning. So we have a lot left for you. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you in just a moment on the other side of this commercial break.